Hey, Bob. What you up to? Ah, is that your pajamas for this bit we're doing? No? Uniform. Certified. What are you even talking about? I've never seen you leave this stand. You're always there. Oh, you go when I'm not here? Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Astronaut. Okay, sure. Yeah, yeah. I'll start. I'll tell. Hi, I'm John, and I vote because I want to plan when lives are at risk. And, like pandemics. And I'm not a big fan of Apocolypse. So anything we could do to not have that, that's what I want to vote for. Today, I want to talk to you about voting absentee in Michigan. In your underwear or pajamas, whichever. Before I get started, this year is the census, and it's really important to fill out the census. Uh, it's for your household, so go and fill it out real quick. It's 2020census.gov. Michigan, 10 years ago, the last time this happened, we got to 67%. Right now, we're actually at 60%. Minnesota is beating us. We should do better. It's not too hard. It's only a few minutes. Just go to 2020census.gov and fill it out. No big deal. It just means that people care about who you are and they'll actually try and swing you to vote for them, which means you can ask them to do things. Anyway, is absentee ballot voting important enough to get dressed up in a Buzz Lightyear costume and put yourself on the internet? Obviously. But I also just wear this every day. This is what I work in. It's comfortable. Let me just go over all the things we're going to talk about. Voting from the comfort of your pajamas. What's the problem? Why would we want to do this? Is voting from home new? And so isn't it kind of necessary during this whole apocalypse thing? And also, what do you need to do to become one of the cool people like me that dress up like Buzz Lightyear? Huh? If you already are convinced, just go ahead and skip to the instructions in the description. If not, I'm going to go through all those things I just said. So, why is voting important? Well, the number one problem we have is voter apathy, meaning people don't vote. They just don't vote. I know. I told you all the reasons why I vote. I guess people don't feel the same way. So, here's a graph of what we're talking about here. Now, in 2016, we voted for the president. Did you do it? Did you vote for the president? Okay. Well, these are the number of people that live in Michigan. So that's about 10 million people. All right? This is the number of people in Michigan who are registered to vote. This is the number of people who actually voted. Now, let's just say you're buying some sort of high-tech device. Let's say you're buying a camera, and you go to the store, and you hand a guy two $50 bills. And he takes one and puts it directly into the shredder, and then takes the $50 and puts it in his pocket. And then he gives you the camera. Now, you might say, why did I just give that guy $50 so that he could destroy it? Well, dude, if you didn't vote, you threw away half of our population's vote. It's kind of important. All right, so of those 50% of the people, 23% of the people voted for our current president. Now, I don't know about you, but 23% of our state voting for one person and them being our leader doesn't really sound very democratic. So come on, people, vote, 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 vote. Is voting in our pajamas a new thing in Michigan? Yes, it is. You know why? Because we voted in a different election in 2018. We were kind of pumped up, and we voted for Proposal 3. Proposal 3 passed with a huge bipartisan support. 67% of Michiganders said, yes, I want to be able to vote in my pajamas. Yes, I want automatic voter registration. I want to be able to register at any time, including Election Day, because I kind of want to vote when I want to vote. So, yeah, only 33% of Michigan said no. I don't want to be able to vote better. That seems like a pretty unpopular position anyway. I mean, why would you? Ugh. I vote because voting matters, okay? Anyway, nothing should stop you now. I mean, you can vote in your house in weird costumes. I mean, you could vote in a weird costume at your polling center too if you're crazy like me. Anyway, what if I told you in only 10 minutes, about once a year, you could change the government and make it more like you? It's just voting. So isn't voting from your house kind of important during an apocalypse? Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, uh, it, the fact that we passed it right now is kind of the perfect timing. We have to do social distancing. Who knows if this virus is going to come back in the fall, which people are saying it is. We don't even know what November is going to look like. Wisconsin, just a couple of weeks ago, was forced by the Supreme Court to do in-person voting. Yeah, that's a whole thing that we can talk about some other day. It's really important, but that's not what this is about. So, Wisconsin forced people to go in person. They shut down like hundreds of polling stations. There was only a few left open. And so far, what we know is 19 people have contracted the COVID virus because of this. Now, luckily in Michigan, we voted to say, yeah, we want another option. And, we might need this for a couple of years. Who knows? I'm not trying to scare anybody. But depending on what happens with this virus, there's no guarantee that we're going to be totally safe until we have a vaccine, which is going to be in 12 to 18 months. So you may as well just get to be voting from home just in case. I mean, who knows? Maybe you just get sick from a regular flu. I mean, that happens, right? Norovirus, do you know what that is? If you have a little person, you know what that is. It is, stuff coming out of both ends and extraordinarily contagious. Anyway, maybe that's your problem. So just be prepared. Vote absentee. It'll be fun. So what do you need to do? Well, surprisingly, it's a government thing, and it's incredibly simple. Go to michigan.gov/vote. Once you're there, there's going to be two ways to verify who you are. One of them is going to be personal information like name, first name, last name, date of birth, and zip code, I believe. The other way is through your driver's license information. So enter that, and then we're going to verify if you're registered to vote. If you're not registered to vote, this isn't really covering that, but you should do that. I'll do a video on that some other time. If you want to go ahead and look on the website, this michigan.gov/vote tells you how to register too. So if you need to do that, go through, it'll walk you through the process. All right, so once you verify that you're registered, on the upper right-hand side of the page, there is a box and it says Absentee Voter Ballot Status. All right, so in that box, this is kind of crazy how simple it is. There's a little button, and the button says yes. And next to the button, it says, I want to vote absentee in all future elections. Automatically send me an application for every election. So go ahead and click that yes button. Now, it takes you to another page where you fill out your driver's license information. Then you click a submit button, and then you're done. All right, so in the next election, you should receive an application. These applications go out about 75 days from the election. The next application is supposed to include the August primary and the November election on it. So what this application does is it says you fill it out and make sure that you want to get your ballot mailed to you. Fill it out, mail it back, and then you'll receive your ballot in the mail. Once you get your ballot, do your research. Make sure you're voting for somebody who supports your values, somebody who's going to do all of the great things that you want to do. And even if they don't do all of the great things you want to do, make sure that they do at least some of them, right? And then you become an active participant in the system. Once you've studied up, you know who supports your values, fill out the ballot, pick the people you want to be in charge, pick the proposals that you think will support your community, your family, and then make sure you mail the ballot back. I would highly recommend mailing it back with extra amount, a pretty decent amount of time, because the ballot is only accepted if the ballot is received by your clerk before 8 p.m. on election day. So make sure you mail it back early. And then verify once you've mailed it back on that same michigan.gov/vote where you filled out your information and checked in that absentee ballot status, it will tell you whether or not they received your application. If they didn't receive your ballot, go to the bottom left. There's an area that tells you about where your clerk is. It'll tell you their email address, it'll tell you their phone number, and their address. Now, in researching this, I talked to my personal clerk, and I have to tell you, it was one of the most pleasant customer service experiences of my life. No joke. So if you elect the right people for your community, government can be better. We can make it better. It should be a good thing that we expect our government to work well for us. So just, that's a side note. I just feel like it's super cool that I talked to somebody and it was amazing. So if you're not going to be able to make the mail-in date, you can take the ballot directly to your clerk. And like I said, if you go to michigan.gov/vote, in the bottom left-hand corner, it'll show you the address to your clerk, and you can go there and give it to him. You got to get it to him before 8 p.m. on election day. Just make sure a few days after you mail it in that you check your status, and like I said, call your clerk if there's any concern about whether or not it was received. So now that you've watched all the way through to here, I appreciate you because you're awesome. If you're going to dedicate time to watch a weirdo dressed up as Buzz Lightyear, you can vote too. And I like voters. So if you really enjoyed this, or if you moderately enjoyed it, like it, subscribe to this channel for more cool information like this. And if you think this would help out somebody in your family, your friends, anything, share this so that they can get the information on how to become an absentee voter too. Don't make me look like a weirdo for no reason. All right? I know I'm already a weirdo. Do you really got to be that way? Jeez. All right. Anyway, why do you vote? Tell me in the comments. It's one of the most important things I think we do as citizens, and we definitely don't talk about it enough. I think one of the worst misnomers we have is we don't talk about politics and religion. Do what you want with religion. We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about voting, and you should always talk about voting. So anyway, Bob, why vote? Yeah, I know you're plastic. Good point. Yeah, that's probably not legal, is it? Yeah. So, yeah, they should vote. You should vote. Bob said so.